out of the ordinary when it comes to making grits. Now, some folks might say that I'm creating a blasphemous sort of situation here, but that's all right. So what I have, I've measured out 4 cups. Now, if anything you take away from this, you're going to remember 4 to 1. It's going to be 4 cups of liquid. In this particular case, we're going to be using milk. This is whole milk right here, 4 cups worth, and I'm going to put it right here in the saucepan. I'm going to add 1 cup of white grits to 4 cups of cold milk. Four to 1, that's the ratio. 4 cups of liquid to 1 cup of grits. So here we go, 1 cup grits, right in there. Now let's take it to the stove. Alright, so what we have here is 4 cups of whole milk and 1 cup of white grits. Now these are not instant grits, these are not quick cooking grits. These are old-fashioned stone ground grits. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give them a stir. I'm using a non-stick pan. I have a silicone-coated wire whisk, so that way I'm not scratching the bottom of my non-stick pan. I have my heat on medium-high, and I'm just going to continue to stir. I'm not going to stop. As soon as I walk away, I'm going to have problems. So I'm going to stay here the whole entire time and stir my grits, making sure that I get down into the corners, and I'm just doing a back and forth motion. No, I'm not whipping really hard. I'm just going back and forth, sometimes holding it like a pencil, and then I'll just get down into the corners, chase around the corners a little bit, and then come back to the center and keep working my way around. A back and forth motion requires a lot less energy. Even if you're going like this, it requires a lot less energy than if you were stirring using your whole entire arm. Stirring it like this is going to cause you to have a spaghetti arm at the end of the day. You just work your hand back and forth, just like this, back and forth motion. At the end of the day, you won't be as tired. Alright, so we're going to break here real quick, and then we're going to come back when it's just about done. Okay, so that's been about 5 minutes, and if you look closely, you can see some steam rising off the top of the milk. Now is when we need to be really careful and mind our temperature, because milk can scorch and scald and stick to the bottom of the pot. And because we have those grits in there, there's added starch, and those starches will drop to the bottom of the pot, and they'll want to burn. So now it's even more important than ever, so that way we don't let anything scorch on the bottom, and we constantly keep this moving. In a sense, what we're doing as the starches are cooking off of the grits, it's starting to get creamier. Of course, we had the milk to begin with, but now as the grits are cooking and we're agitating them and moving them around, the starch is rubbing off of each individual grain of corn, hominy grit, and as it's doing that, it's starting to make the liquid creamier. should say the milk. It's been about 12 minutes or so, give or take, to get to this stage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide it partially off the heat. I've got it just on low. I'm just going to put it halfway back off the heat. And what I'm going to do, as I've got that cheddar cheese, I'm going to break off a few chunks of that cheddar, and we'll swirl in some of that cheddar. Okay, so I turned the heat completely off of the grits. Got a nice firm texture, but yet still pliable. We've got our cheese. What we're going to do is we're just going to cut off about a 3/8 inch piece right off the end. And just kind of cut it into some chunks. And then we're going to swirl that right into our grits, just like you would say if it was butter. One cup of grits, 4 cups of whole milk, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and now some 4-year-old aged Vermont cheddar cheese. And you can usually tell good cheese when you try to slice it. I'm cutting it into big chunks because if I tried to slice it, it would just fall all apart. And now we'll go back at it again. Stir our grits. Very gently. Maybe. There we go. Come on, you can do it. There. Just want to be careful of it. It's so tender, so delicate. It's just starting to fall apart. There's all those yummy onions in there. Our julienne strips of the chilies. Ooh, that looked good. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take all of this stuff off after I just put it on there. I know, terrible, huh? I'm going to take all of this stuff off very gently, very carefully, scrape it off. We're going to pull this piece of meat out, and we're going to take it and let it rest on a plate. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this juice that's left behind, and we're going to thicken it up a little bit, and then that'll make a nice gravy to go along with the pot roast and our Vermont cheddar cheese grits.